Welcome to Impact Farming, where we introduce you to the people and ideas that will have a massive impact on your farming operation. Brought to you by Farm Marketer. Sit down, start the engine, and let's roll with today's show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Impact Farming Show. Today, I have an amazing guest. I have Kyle Gibson from AgriEnhance. Kyle, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Good. I am so excited for our conversation today. I know you have a lot of great information. To set the stage for today's conversation, I want to share your tagline. You're not average, so your insurance shouldn't treat you that way. I think that sets a stage for what we're going to be talking about today. I'm excited. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Yeah, it's really great to be here. I appreciate it.
Perfect. So before we dive in, why don't you tell our audience about who you are and your role with AgriEnhance?
Yes. So I'm Kyle Gibson. I'm currently living in LaSalle, Manitoba, just south of Winnipeg. I've been with AgriEnhance for about 4 years now. Just before we commercialized, I was actually lucky enough to sell our first policy, which was an exciting milestone. At AgriEnhance, I'm the managing director of operations and the lead broker. So I work closely with our team to ensure that we're building products that truly serve farmers. So we're not just offering insurance, but we're actually improving risk management in a way that's practical and easy to use. I do also work with ARM Consulting, who's actually our technology partner, and that's where I oversee the AgriEnhance platform.
Okay.
My background is primarily military. So I served for a little over 17 years, flying tactical helicopters, flew some domestic search and rescue. But during my time with helicopters, I actually worked with Boeing on a digital mission planning software. And so I worked with their lead engineers on that, and I was able to bring that experience over to the AgriEnhance platform. And that's about me.
That's interesting. That's a pretty neat background with the military. Okay, we're in for an informative conversation here. So why don't you share about AgriEnhance and what you offer farmers?
Sure. AgriEnhance, I would say it's an AI-powered enterprise risk management company with a focus on crop insurance. So right now we are expanding into the holistic agriculture insurance with the launch of a few of our new products. I think we'll probably talk about those shortly. But we use advanced AI and deep agricultural data. We provide real-time field level insights. And so what that means for farmers is that we provide custom tailored insurance options. We streamline quoting, policy management, and claims processing. And it's all through a simple digital first experience that makes the insurance easy and more effective. And so what this does is I'd say it empowers farmers to make proactive, data-driven decisions, protecting their yields more effectively, and really drives a robust growth in the dynamic farming environment.
Okay. So I'm curious. As an entrepreneur, I love, and farmers, we're all the same, right? We're entrepreneurs. I think we all love the why and the how of companies and how they come about. So, do you want to share more about your founders, why the company was started, and what makes you unique in the marketplace? It always starts with that why, right?
Yeah. And so our founders are Dr. Lisa Porth and Ray Bouchard. So Lisa has deep expertise in actuarial science and predictive analytics. And then Ray has more than 35 years in agriculture leadership. Together, they saw a real gap in the way traditional crop insurance was serving modern farms. So the problem was that farms are evolving. They had better tech, higher yields, smarter risk management. Traditional insurance just wasn't keeping up. So the insurance models were, fully outdated, but we had this broad stroke coverage that didn't reflect individual farm risks. And so that's where AgriEnhance came in to fill that solution. So we built a entirely new insurance framework. So it's not just new technology over an old system. We do field level risk assessments that give a truly dynamic coverage. So this allows us to offer products like AgriEnhance and ForwardProtect, and then we custom fit those insurance into kind of it works complementary with the government insurance programs.
Okay.
And then again, all of this is seamless through our digital process.
Okay. Perfect. So there's two places I want to go. You answered, I think, already why they seen the need for alternative crop insurance. If you want to add on that, go ahead. If not, we can dive right into the insurance offerings. So do you want to touch a little bit more on why they seen the need for a new insurance product?
Yeah, I think it's important with today. So everybody knows farming is inherently risky. So we're managing unpredictable weather. We have rising input costs. We have commodity price fluctuations, supply chain issues. You name it. There's a risk everywhere. So without sufficient risk management, farms just simply can't reinvest. Not in innovation, they can't boost their productivity, and that does have ripple effects throughout the entire sector. Some of the challenges I would say with traditional insurance is we had government programs they're a very valuable safety net, but the coverage is broad and it's often insufficient. So we don't need, but the farmers need tailored, modern approach. So we want to combine the government insurance program with the flexibility of private insurance. And that's where AGI 3 came in. So we took that AI-driven risk modeling, we put dynamic pricing and individualized underwriting, and then all those farms get that comprehensive protection while securing cash flow.
Love it. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the insurance products. Then we'll talk about the platform. And then I want to really get back into the nitty-gritty of insurance. So let's speak to the insurance offerings that you have. Do you want to review those a little bit with us?
Sure. So our main flagship product is AgriEnhance. And that's our yield-based crop insurance offering. It's priced individually down at the legal land description level. And so what that means is each field and crop type is assessed separately. So your pricing is very dynamic and it truly reflects the risk on the field. So every farm, like even in one individual farm, will actually have some fields that might have different premiums based on their risk profile. So you end up with no two farmers paying the same price. And even that individual farm themselves might have a different price depending on waste, basically depends where that seed goes in the dirt. And I guess if you want, I can break down AgriEnhance. There's a fair amount of products now that we've started to launch.
Yeah.
AgriEnhance itself, because now is the main time for crop insurance. When we get into ForwardProtect, which is our grain contract insurance, that goes a little bit later into the season. And now with our FarmElevate, which is a property and casualty insurance product, that can be purchased anytime throughout the season. But for AgriEnhance now, so there's a few different options. And so probably our most popular is whole farm. And it's a single comprehensive policy. And then it reflects your farm's overall performance. So we offer premium discounts based on diversification. And in some cases, certain farms will qualify for elevated coverage. Then if whole farm doesn't work for your operation, if you need to be a little bit more tailored, we do have individual crop coverage. And so that's where each crop can be protected individually. And so you can have different coverage triggers, different band sizes. You can not insure a crop type. It's very, very customizable. And then the last thing finally would be co-insurance. And so you can think of this as a risk sharing option. So again, it can be done on an individual crop basis. You can decide through 4 different options. And what we do is we break $150 worth of coverage into 3 $50 intervals. And within each interval, you get to share the risk. And what it does at the end of the day, it really lowers that premium. And actually this year is a new feature we offer is co-insurance on the whole farm too.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of flexibility.
That's the goal. Sometimes by having more options, it makes it actually more difficult to make a decision. But working with us, working with your advisor, um, it, it's very advantageous, I think, to be able to build a customizable risk strategy around what you need. That's what we went with.
Okay, so I want to ask you something here. Let's take it up 30,000 foot and let's look at traditional crop insurance and some of the things that farmers have been struggling with. Like they're going, okay, I'm improving my farming operation, but my farm insurance, crop insurance isn't keeping up. How is this different? Let's go very one-on-one. Crop insurance isn't specific enough and it's too broad of an area, right? Like I heard one of our grain farmer friends, he had corn over here and corn over here. And it's a big region. This did fantastic, this did poor, but because they averaged out, then it was a wash and it was tragic financially, but the insurance didn't really help him. Does that make sense? And this is where something like this really helps a producer fine tune their insurance. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that is fair to say.
Okay.
I think you get farmers who are frustrated by the lack of precision in that coverage and determining pricing. You might have cumbersome workflows, you could have a slow claims process. But the problem with blanket coverage is you get these stronger farmers who end up subsidizing some of their neighbors in certain cases. And so
Oh.
with our approach, what we've done is we call it bespoke coverage at scale. And so really it's farm specific risk assessments using deep data. So everything that we can get our hands on, we bring into the background and to really, really give accurate assessments. We have those streamlined digital flows within our system. So it's easier and more precise to manage all your policies, report losses, get claims paid. And then I would just highlight that this is designed for those modern growth focused farms.
Mhm.
So it complements government programs. It's not designed to replace by any means. There's still a need. It is that valuable safety net, like I had mentioned, but we can sit either beside the government program or a little bit on top of that program to really make sure that we respond efficiently.
Okay, so then walking through logically, I assume when a farmer wants to learn about this, get a quote, they would need to enter their information into the platform. Do you want to? I think we need to pause and speak about that a little bit more because that helps build the picture here. So speak to the platform, the benefits, the flow, all that, the costs, if there is.
Yeah, so this is where, yeah, I really enjoy the platform part of it, but we've built this from the ground up. So our partner ARM Consulting out of Winnipeg, they work very, very closely with us. So everything was built here in Canada. It's a very, very strong and experienced development team. And what that allows us to do is to innovate and to adapt to any kind of farmer feedback that we get. And so it's not this big 6 month or year-long process to get updates out. We can respond very quickly. And so if a farmer does want to get pricing, you have a couple different options. And so it is all digital first, but that first option we do have is that concierge type service. So a farmer can come to us and they can say, I'm very busy. I don't have the time right now. I need help. And so that's what our team's there for. So we'll collect the information and it's very minimal what we need. We just need basic contact information. We need a crop plan and then we need field information, including those legal land descriptions. But there's no financial data required whatsoever. And then yeah, we'll load that for you and we'll pass it back to you. And then now that farmer decides whether they want to go through it themselves. It's a very transparent process. They'll decide if they want to meet with one of their own advisors, or they'll jump on with us and we'll do a deep dive into their own data to figure out what they need. But I do want to highlight how fast the process can be. And I wrote down an example here just showing that we had a 70,000 acre farm that we loaded. From the time they emailed us, it was 14 minutes. And we had accurate pricing, ready to go. The farm was digitized. And we're pretty excited about some new things coming that are going to make that even faster with even better data.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay, so that makes sense. They get all their information in there, then they can review it, talk with you guys, and then figure out policies by field and get quotes from there.
Yeah, exactly. And there still is the self-service option. The farmer can always just do this themselves if they prefer. And we have a lot of farms that that's just what they like. And they can go in there. Yeah, they can choose different coverage levels. They can choose different band sizes, different products. And then on the right-hand side, we'll always see that live summary. And same thing as once they're in the platform, we know there's always changes to crop plans. So if they want to go in and make a few changes, they can do that. And it's all real time. So if I want to move some of my canola from the north of the farm to the south of the farm, as soon as I go back into insurance, it's updated.
Okay. Is this the right spot to maybe go into insurance coverage levels and go a little bit deeper? Do you want to go there next?
Yeah. So there's a lot of options. So it's too bad I didn't have my presentation in front of me. But basically, what a farmer can do is if they go in there, we sell band sizes. And so you can choose from 100 up to $200 in some cases, and that's how much you're protected for. So in the event of a full claim or a total loss, you would have that band size as the payout.
Okay.
The coverage triggers are very similar to the government in terms of percentage of your expected yield. So you can have 70, 75, or 80%.
Okay.
And now that can be on every crop type. And then is also in the whole farm, the same coverage levels and band sizes work there as well.
Okay. Okay, so bear with me. This is a little bit different, and I'm kind of on the fly here trying to figure this out mentally. So you can go in and insure the whole farm, your farm, at a certain level, dollar wise and loss wise, and then that's a whole farm coverage. Or you can say this field, flow with that, cover that.
Yeah, not quite yet. So our vision,
Yeah.
and we think we're going to get there, is that field level coverage. That
Okay.
you can actually go down to the field level. We also want to look at things like mid-season top up. And so if you're going through the season and you realize that that crop's looking very, very strong and you want to throw the groceries to it, we can protect you for that further investment. Right now, though, we're not fully there. There's a lot of different players involved and reinsurers are there. And so to get to that level, we have to fix the data issue, and that's a whole other story.
Right.
And so what it works as is that farmer can choose the whole farm, so every acre, and they can get insurance on that.
Okay.
Or they can decide individual crop. And so you have to get every acre of that crop type insured. So if you have 5,000 acres of canola, all 5,000 have to be insured. But you can say, I don't want to cover my barley, or I don't want to cover my wheat, or I want less coverage on my oats. And so you can be customizable that way. But we're not quite at the field level yet.
Okay. I had heard you mention that. I think that's the big picture, but I just wanted to ask that question. So whole farm at a rate, or all acres of a crop. So let's say all
Correct.
corn, all X commodity over here. And you can insure crops differently on your farm?
Absolutely. Yes. I
Okay.
can say I want my canola at 80% and I want $150 on that because I'm very concerned about it. I can say that I want the risk sharing option, so that co-insurance option on my oats, and we'll choose just $75 worth of coverage. And so it's really tailored around what that strategy is for your farm.
Okay. Can we go one deeper? Because you got my brain, and I'm sure everybody in the audience curious, and I got to ask the question. So now let's compare, because we're saying the producer that really wants coverage that works for them, this is where you are working towards. You're helping that producer. So let's look at a scenario with government crop insurance. Okay. Can you
Okay.
walk us through one and then just kind of side beside that one, compare your insurance product and then walk through? Would you be comfortable doing that? My
Yeah.
brain, the wheels are turning and I got to ask all the questions.
No, absolutely. So I'll use kind of the most common examples that we see
Okay.
from farms this year and in the past. So a lot of farms, if their expenses are more than kind of what their coverage is, and if they're worried about they need more coverage, that's usually when they're going to use us more as a sidecar. So
Okay.
they'll take government at 80% and they'll take us at 80%. What happens then is if you have a claim, let's say you have $100 claim, let's get $100 per acre. If you have both of us at the same level, you get $100 from the government and you get $100 from us. So you get paid twice. And that really helps that revenue portion get back up to whole.
Okay.
The other option, which is becoming more popular, is using us to work in with other government programs like AgriStability. So because we're a private insurance company, any claims that are paid by us do not count as income for AgriStability. And so what happens is a lot of farms are lowering their government crop insurance to, let's say, 70 or below, in some cases 50. They're taking us at the top end at 80%, and you still build a full tower of risk. So you're protected the entire way down. But then if you have that loss of $100, we get paid by you, or you get paid by us. The government doesn't pay, but now AgriStability can kick in. And so you end up actually having better coverage than you would have had with just government crop insurance.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
It's clever. Yeah, that's a hard
Yeah,
time.
it's been a big benefit. So
Okay. Is there anything else? I'll ask this question. Is there anything else I should be asking you about this, or anything else a farmer would be sitting there going, okay, I need to know this? Is there anything else you want to add in this area?
for AgriEnhance, I think that's pretty good. I would say insurance can be both complicated and boring at times. And so I would say just to reach out to us. And we walk everybody through the process. We can really take a deep dive into your operation and see where the gaps might be and see where more coverage might make sense. And so I would just say reach out, and that's AgriEnhance. I don't know if you want me to go into ForwardProtect or FarmElevate.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go
That
into both of them if you want.
Sure. So ForwardProtect, we're really excited about. So we're just about to launch that. That's our innovation product. So it is a grain contract insurance. And so the idea is you can work with any licensed grain company in Canada. It's on a futures contract. If you buy that contract, within 7 days, we can wrap an insurance policy around it. Now it's only on canola and wheat red spring, but it's designed really is based on after 2021, we saw that big decrease in how forward contracted somebody was. And so usually we're seeing about the 30% level is where a lot of farms are stopping. And so our assumption is that with this product is what we're doing is we're going to take that farm from 30 to let's say 50% because now they have backing. And so in the case that there is that yield loss and the price increases where they would have had those buyout penalties, now we're there to help kind of cover some of those costs. And that'll be launching as soon as next week. So if anybody does want to reach out, now's the time. And we're quite excited about it.
And that's ForwardProtect.
That's ForwardProtect.
Okay. And you
And
have
FarmElevate, yeah, that's our new one as well. And we are building product depth. We do want everybody to think, so when you think of agriculture insurance, we want people to think of AgI3. So we will continue to bring more innovative products as we grow and as we partner with those really strong farms to make this a sustainable program. And FarmElevate is our foray into property and casualty, so property and equipment insurance. So our main partner in all this is Definity Financial through their subsidiary Economical Insurance. They've been around, they've been a trusted partner for 150 years in Canada. So they're a very large and established company. And so we've worked together with them to launch this product. And yeah, we're really excited about what it can do. And so it's another tool that a farm can come to around their risk management strategy. So you can come to us with the crop insurance. You can get some of that forward contracting coverage as well. And now we can wrap insurance around all your property and your equipment.
excellent. And Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm asking a lot of questions and
No,
hopefully
go ahead.
keeping a nice flow here, but our insurance options as farmers have been very limited, very status quo. Is that a safe thing to say for many years?
Yeah, there's not a lot of options
Yeah.
out there. It's
Yeah.
really, especially around the crop, it's the government.
Yeah.
Now it's a heavily subsidized industry, so it's difficult for private companies to kind of innovate in that space. And yeah, there's not many of us out there.
Yeah. So I find when we're having conversations, like you said, there's a lot of producers that are going, okay, yeah, this is good, status quo. But you know what? The costs of land, of the operation, of inputs are getting so high, insurance isn't keeping up. So a lot of producers are looking, I imagine, for something new, something better, more protection, more tailored. But this is also a new conversation. And where you said reach out, correct me if I'm wrong, this can be a little bit confusing of a conversation and trying to figure out, even just talking about it in a conversation here, it's probably best for a producer if they're going, okay, I need something better. I'm really savvy in all these areas of my operation, but insurance just isn't cutting it. Instead of trying to figure it out, read it online, probably calling you guys up and saying, hey, what do you do? How does this work? Here's my operation. That's probably the best way for farmers to go, right? Because this is still a pretty new conversation.
Yeah, that's
Is that safe
so
to
a lot
say?
of our, yeah, a lot of the farms we work with are through referrals. We're a pretty small company. Um, a lot of people still don't know about us, and so we are still getting our name out there. But I would say that, yeah, the best way to go through this is to connect with us. We have a really strong team. And so if anybody wants more information, if anybody wants to really dive into the nuances of it, that is the best way to do that. And you're going to see a lot of our farms this year, they're actually just talking about, hey, I just want to get in this program to build a relationship because we know things are changing. The industry is in a bit of an upheaval right now. And even something as stable, or at least as stable like we thought it was stable as the government insurance program, I don't think you can rely on that or you can't expect that to always be the same. So as things change, by having that relationship starting to build, it gives you that other option. It gives you another avenue or another tool to use to make sure that you are fully protected.
I love it. Okay, insurance coverage levels, the underwriter on the insurance. I think you touched on both those. If you need to add, go ahead. The other thing I wanted to talk about was making a claim, how that works if a producer, you touched on a bit, if you want to go there, if a producer has both insurances, how does that work? Making a claim.
Yeah, so this is probably one of the most important parts, and this is the one that everybody wants to make sure is done right. And I'll say to start off, I remember when we first started, some people said, "Well, you're brand new, you're small. How do I know you're going to be there to pay the claim if I need it?"
Right.
And it's a fair question, but within Canada, insurance is very heavily regulated. So there's no scenario where we're allowed to sell those policies unless we have the capital behind it to pay all the claims in the worst case scenario. So it also helps that we have Definity as our partner in this. So financially, the money's there if they need it. The next thing on our side, what we want to change is we want to, again, keep technology first. But everybody knows cash flow is the most important thing, especially in farming. And so if we have a denied, any kind of denied claims or delayed claims is going to put farmers in a tough spot. So our process is fast, efficient. I would say it's relatively stress-free, as stress-free as any claim can be. It's quick access to financial support, and it's when you need it most. If I had to walk through the way it's going to work, and I'll try to start from the top and kind of work my way down. But let's just say you're in a pre-harvest situation. So if you're haven't harvested yet, but a farmer thinks that there might be a loss, so we encourage them to reach out as soon as possible. And what that does, it allows us to start preparing. So in some cases, we'll send out a third-party independent agronomist for quick inspection. And again, that allows us to prepare so that if that loss does end up taking place, we can respond right away. So it's not starting from scratch. There's no delays. It's a lot more effective. And we've had that in the past where the farmers did suspect a loss. They called us, we checked it, and we were able to pay very, very fast. And so that's the one scenario. The other times is sometimes you just don't know. And so it's not until that comes off the combine that you really have an idea if there was a loss or not. So in the event that there's a post-harvest claim, that's where we kind of go technology driven. And so after harvest, we'll work directly with that farm. We'll make sure that we'll verify any kind of losses using their own data. We use yield data, harvest records. We take in weather data, precipitation accumulation, NDVI, you name it. We really work on the technology side to make this quick and responsive. And then the AI powered platform assists that as well. And it makes it very transparent to the farmer so they can see this whole process. They can see the status of their claim. They can see what we've agreed to and then when it's going to be paid.
Excellent. That's good to know. And I like that part where you mentioned, hey, like we're giving you a heads up. Our crop, we're in drought. We think we're going to have a claim. And then you guys are already on board. You know what's going on and it makes it quicker, right? That's kind of what you were saying.
Yeah, we're pretty proud so far how it's gone. Nobody wants to have claims,
Yeah.
but since we've been here, yeah, we've had claims and we've had to make payouts. I think for the most part, I would say every claim. So November 15th is our harvest deadline, and then you start that claims process. Every claim has been paid out before January, unless there is a special circumstance. So we've had some farms that have said, hey, I want to defer my payment until afterwards, and that's fine. Other farms have actually said, I'm not 100% confident, and so I want to wait until all my grain's sold and then use the receipts to go off that. And that's fine too. And so in those cases, it'll go past. But when we start the new year, we intend to have no claims behind us that are still open. And so it is quite a responsive program.
Well, and that's important too. End of year bills are due, right? So if you're on a shortfall and you need the insurance, it's important that it's on time, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then
Okay.
just to highlight, at the end of the day, we're not just an insurance company. We're not just another insurance company, I guess I should say. We're a true partner in that risk management plan. And so when disaster strikes, and in the event of this large loss, we do act fast, we pay fast, and we put farmers first. So if it's a claims process that is designed for the modern farm. And so from what we've seen, once that farmer experiences that claim process, they don't want to go back to the old process. And we're constantly making it better. That's the goal.
So you guys started in 2021. We're now 2025. Can you speak about progress made, accomplishments, customer experiences, and what you guys are excited about for 2025?
Absolutely. So yes, it's been quite a ride. So since our launch in 2021, we've made significant strides. So right now, we currently support over 3 million acres and hundreds of farms now on the platform. What we're hearing is that the individualized underwriting, the streamlined workflows, they've been really well received. And so they do empower these farms to secure cash flow. We are reducing risk and allows them to reinvest in their operations confidently with us at their back. But the progress, it isn't just at numbers. So it is measured in real world impact. So in challenging years, if there's going to be unexpected setbacks, that's where our coverage truly does make a difference. And that's because our product's built on that granular risk assessment. So when it does need to pay out, and that's when it matters most, it pays out. And that's where it really supports the Canadian producers during those tough times. And we talked about this earlier, is that Canada does historically have less options when it comes to private insurance compared to the US. So the approach we're taking is really, really important for our market. So as we look ahead to 2025, we do remain focused on expanding the product suite. We're going to enhance that technology, and we're continuing to deepen those relationships with our brokers, our partners, our farmers, really everybody across that supply chain. And our vision is clear. And so we're going to empower that modern, innovative farmer with the risk management tools they need. And we're just going to continue to do that over and over and continue to get better. So we're really excited about that.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have anything that you want to add to anything we've discussed? There's a few more places I want to go. Data privacy, and then
Yes.
obviously ROI, and then we can continue on from there. So if you have anything else that you want to add about the insurance policies, anything important you think the audience needs to know?
No, I think that's good. Maybe one that some people really seem to like, and it makes sense, is there's no paperwork involved with AgriEnhance. There's no physical paperwork. Everything's digital. So when you're on the platform, we create all the paperwork for you. So the farm, it truly is a few clicks to get insurance. It's a few clicks to do through the claims process if there is one, and yeah, it's efficient.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing. Why don't we talk about data privacy and then we'll talk about ROI.
Okay. Yeah, data privacy. That's always the elephant in the room sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, it's your data, it's your control over it. So we actually are Ag Data Transparent certified. And so what that means is farmers do own their data. On top of that, we don't actually collect very much information, so it's minimal. And so we have contact details, like I mentioned. We have the basic crop plan information in your field. We don't take any financial data or anything like that. And so what we use instead is that's again back to the AI driven risk models, is that we have those kind of granular and dynamic pricing situations. We don't need that detailed financial data. And so it is less work for farms, it's more precise coverage options, and it's less data they have to share with us. But yeah, it always is one of those things that everybody's a bit concerned about. But we can, again, because we have that seal, but also because that's how we respect that data privacy, is we don't ever sell that data. The farmer can always come to us and say, hey, I don't want my system, or I don't want my information in there anymore, take it out. Okay, no problem.
If you're on social media, you hear all the talk about farmers. It's like, what are these companies doing with our data? That's why in these
Yeah.
types of interviews, when I'm working with companies and sharing their story, let's just name the elephant in the room because I think that's important. I'm a farmer. I
Yeah.
don't want companies monetizing my data and sharing it out, selling it out, right?
Yeah. And I do like that because we see that question all the time too, is, well, what do I get for my data? If I'm going to give you my data, what do I get for it? And I think what we can show is we're going to give you an actual kind of financial incentive for that data. So as we grow with our farms and we continue to partner, as we get better data and better relationships, that allows us to not only have better pricing because we can better price that risk, but it allows for things like higher coverage. And so this year we did launch a few things where we have up to 85% coverage, but that's only possible if you have that data. And
Mm.
so that's an immediate benefit you can get by sharing that with us. So we're not just taking it and promising you one day you'll see a return.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for addressing the elephant in the room. I like naming that one. Okay, now as we work to wrap up the conversation, let's really talk about ROI and how savvy producers are really frustrated with the status quo that's been out there for years. Let's talk about this and how you guys are there to really help them optimize and make sure that they are covering costs, getting in a good position at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, so I think we're out there solving real challenges in ag risk management. So we know farms face growing risks, yet many insurance solutions don't really deliver on those promises. Our enterprise risk management platform is complementary. There's no cost to farms at all. Every farm we worked with is onboarded so far because they do see the real value in our approach. It's a comprehensive strategy that saves money. I would say we cover the entire insurance lifecycle. So we have dynamic pricing, underwriting, reporting, claims processing. We combine actuarial and agricultural expertise with cutting edge technology. So we're able to deliver precise farm specific coverage. And that does have a measurable financial impact. So it fills insurance gaps to ensure that farms have robust protection. It secures working capital and reduces unnecessary costs. It ends up being that more money stays in the farm's pocket. And that allows for reinvestment and long term growth. This will allow the farms to navigate what's always increasingly complex and uncertain environments with confidence.
Excellent. I love it. That sums it up nicely. If you have any other parting words, you can share them now. Any words of encouragement, any call to action, and then we can just pair that with if farmers want to learn more, where can they go? Who can they call? And how can they reach out?
Yeah. So maybe I'll just start with making sure everybody's clear on the vision. So our vision is to deliver something truly valuable to the Canadian farm community. It's a comprehensive one-stop shop for all agri insurance needs. So we believe truly that nobody else is better positioned to serve these modern farms with a full range. And as you saw, we have that product depth now that they require. So whether it's tailored insurance, it's the innovation products like ForwardProtect, it's traditional products like FarmElevate, that property and equipment insurance. We do aim to be that name in agri insurance. And so if you ever think of insurance in the ag space, we want you to think of AgI3. And so we know most farms, and frankly, probably most people find insurance confusing and difficult. And that's why we have brought together that, and it is patent pending, the technology that we have with this extensive agricultural and insurance expertise, and to unlock new opportunities for modern farms. And it also carries like a human local touch that does truly understand farm needs. We have independent brokers and our internal team all over Western Canada. They're on the farm, they're talking to farms constantly. And I'd add that I do truly believe that farms have traditionally been underserved. And so in today's complex environment, that one size fits all solution just isn't enough. And we're really privileged to be part of the solution. We are helping farms secure their working capital. We can support sustainable investments, and then ultimately grow stronger as a farm or as the industry as a whole. We've met some of the most hardworking, inspiring farms that have joined this program over the past few years, and we're just excited to keep going.
Love it. I love the mission. I love what you guys are doing in the marketplace. That is our goal here on the show, is to bring farmers the people and ideas, companies that can really impact their farming operation. And I love the work that you guys are doing. So thank you for sharing. If a farmer wants to connect, what's the best way? Should they go online? Should they call? What's your thought?
Yeah, I would say so. Farmers, brokers, potential partners, anybody who wants to get a hold of us, agi3.ai is the best place to go contact us or sign up for the program. You can also always email us at information@agi3.ai or reach out to anybody on the team.
Perfect. And I'll put all those links and contact information in the show notes. Kyle, this has been a great conversation. Thank you for coming on the show and sharing more, and for the work that you guys are doing, helping farmers to succeed. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
It is my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. And you guys in the audience, if you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, you are intrigued, make sure to connect with them, learn more, and we'll see you guys on next week's episode. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Impact Farming. For more great episodes and articles designed to help you manage and grow your farming operation, head on over to farmmarketer.com. Don't forget to sign up while you're there. We will see you on the next episode.